Welcome to Daily Book Insight. Financial freedom isn't some far-off dream. It's a calculation. And today, we're going to deconstruct Grant Sabatier's proven path to acquiring all the money you'll ever need. We're going to turn what feels like an impossible goal into a step-by-step formula. So let's dive in and see how he pulled it off. So let's set the scene. This is where the story starts. We've got Grant Sabatier. He's 24, he's unemployed, and he's living back home with his parents. He was stuck in that cycle that, let's be honest, so many of us know, working jobs he hated, barely scraping by paycheck to paycheck, and just feeling like he was trading away the best years of his life for not very much. Okay, now just look at the slide for a second. The contrast is just insane. On the left, that's his bank account back in 2010. $2.26. He couldn't even afford a burrito he was craving. Now, fast forward just 5 years later, his net worth is over $1.25 million. So the big question is, how on earth is that even possible? Well, here's the thing. It wasn't a lottery ticket. It wasn't some lucky stock pick. It was a deliberate, calculated framework. It took a radical shift in how he thought about money, work, and most importantly, time. This wasn't magic and it wasn't luck. It was a strategy that honestly anyone can learn from. And let's be real, this is the core problem that he was facing, and it's a reality for millions of people. It's the traditional path, right? We trade thousands upon thousands of hours of our one precious life, often in jobs that just drain us, for just enough money to cover the bills. It's a recipe for anxiety, for debt, for that constant feeling of being on a hamster wheel. So if that's the problem, what's the way out? Well, Sabatier lays out this incredibly clear, actionable roadmap. I want you to think of it like climbing a mountain. You don't just magically appear at the top. It's a series of deliberate steps, one after another, that takes you from that valley of financial stress to the peak of total freedom. And here it is, the path itself. It all starts at level 1, which is just clarity, simply knowing your numbers, where you stand. From there, you climb to self-sufficiency. You're covering your own bills. Then you hit breathing room and stability. That's where you finally break that paycheck to paycheck cycle. But the top levels, that's where life really changes. Flexibility, financial independence, where work becomes a choice, and finally, abundant wealth. So just take a second and look at this list. Be honest with yourself. Which level are you on right now? Okay, so you see the ladder. But how do you actually climb it? Well, it's powered by a simple 2-part engine. It's really that straightforward. First, you get absolutely radical about optimizing your spending. And second, you get just as radical about increasing your income. It's these two forces working together that create this incredible upward momentum. So let's look at the first part of that engine. Now, this is not your grandpa's budgeting. We're not talking about spreadsheets that make you feel guilty for every little thing you buy. This is about a complete mental reframe. It's about looking at every single purchase through the lens of opportunity cost. Not what it costs in dollars, but what it's costing you in your most valuable asset, your time. This right here, this is the single most powerful question in the entire book. You need to burn this into your brain. Ask yourself this before you buy anything. It completely changes your perspective. Because suddenly, that new gadget isn't just $100. It's a direct trade for a piece of your actual life. And the whole point is to make that trade consciously. Let's make this really, really clear. That $5 coffee, it doesn't seem like a big deal, right? But hey, if you make, say, $20 an hour after taxes, that coffee just cost you 15 minutes of your life that you had to work to earn. Now, is it worth it? Maybe it is. Some days it absolutely is. But the point is, now you're making an informed decision about your time, not just your money. And here's where he flips the whole script on budgeting. Forget agonizing over the small stuff. The key to a really high savings rate isn't about cutting lattes. It's about optimizing the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. I mean, think about it. These are the things that eat up most of our income. A small, smart change here, like living a little closer to work or buying a reliable used car, has a way bigger impact than 1,000 tiny cuts somewhere else. Okay, so we've optimized our spending. Now, let's move to the second part of the engine, the part that really accelerates everything. Because look, optimizing your spending is powerful, but there's always a limit to how much you can cut, right? But there is no limit to how much you can earn. This is where you pour gasoline on the fire by aggressively, relentlessly increasing your income.
And when we say side hustles, let's be clear, we are not talking about just a few extra bucks here and there. Just look at the stuff Grant himself did. He started with digital skills, building websites, and he's scaled those projects from $500 a pop to $50,000 contracts. He even got into flipping things, from domain names for insane returns to vintage mopeds. The takeaway here is the sheer variety. He just combined what he was good at with what he was interested in and created all these different income streams.
Still think side hustles are small time? Okay, check this out. This is one of my favorite stories from the book. There's a guy named Matt, a graphic designer making $55,000 a year. He starts a dog walking business on the side. That simple idea now earns him an extra $200,000 a year. That's 4 times his full-time salary. It just proves the incredible potential in starting your own thing, no matter how simple it seems. So, this right here is the secret sauce. This is the crucial point that makes the whole system work. The goal isn't to earn more money so you can spend more money. No, it's about adopting an enterprise mindset. You take pretty much 100% of that extra income and you invest it. You put that money to work so it starts earning money for you. Every dollar you invest is literally buying back your future time. So as we start to bring this all together, it is so important to understand the ultimate goal here. The strategies, the saving, the hustling, it was never ever just about stacking up dollars in a bank account. It was always about reclaiming the one resource you can never ever get more of. This thought experiment from the book just cuts right to the heart of everything. I mean, think about it. Would you make that trade? Of course you wouldn't. No way. Why? Because deep down, we all know that our time is the most valuable currency we have. The entire goal of the system is to help you buy back as much of your time as you possibly can. And this is the finish line. This is what it's all about. Financial independence isn't about retiring to a beach to do nothing, unless that's what you want to do. It's about freedom. It's getting to the point where your investments generate enough income to cover your life and work becomes a choice, not a necessity. You get complete control over your days, your life, your time. So we end with this. The whole journey, everything we've talked about, it's about one thing: converting money, which is renewable, into time, which is not. This framework gives you a real path to do that faster than you probably ever thought possible. The only question left is the personal one. Once you've bought back your freedom, what will you do with it? If you found this breakdown valuable, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and please share this with family and friends who are ready to upgrade their life. Thanks for watching.